Hello and welcome to this weather update. It is October 29th, 2017. It's actually 5 years, 5 year anniversary since the Hurricane Sandy, and I might wind up doing, or Superstorm Sandy, I might wind up doing a review of what I went through after that storm a little later. But I want to just talk to you about the crazy weather we're experiencing once again today. So you can see here on the weather service we got a high wind warning. Offshore is a storm warning, and we also have some flood warnings and flood watches out there too, due to this rather intense storm. And I'll tell you why we have this intense storm, and show you some models, and show you why, what's going on exactly. Let me show you the current conditions outside right now. So it's again warm, a little humid, 65 degrees. Note the wind here. This is at Farmingdale Airport. And let's see, and I want to go to the past observations here. So we got some of these observations here. You'll see here that we've been warm and we've been having steady rain now here at that's the closest station here. For a while, as we head out east though, it's a little more intense. And yes, I'll show you the radar in a minute, but I wanted to just give you an observation from out east. It's not the one I want. It's this one. Yeah. Alright. Shirley, Brookhaven Airport. Notice that it's even warmer there. It's 68 degrees. So we're in that yucky tropical air again. And you have the same strong gusty wind that we had before. And further east you go, the worse it is. The dew points have been up to 65. And they've probably had an inch of rain already. Alright, so that's what's going on out there. And if we go further west, it's probably not as bad. Like if we look at Jersey, Ocean County, let's see. Waiting for it to load here. Yeah, it's just as humid, 64 with rain. And dew point 64, so 100% humidity. And they've got actually quite a bit of rain. They've had, looks like an inch already. So that's what's going on over there. Let's go ahead and look at the radar. Now we'll look at the radar and see where we are with this storm here. To loop this, you can see this heavy rain that just keeps coming up from the south here. Keeps coming up from the south, right in our area. This is a nor'easter that has absorbed a weak tropical storm. Philippe, I believe, is absorbed into this. So we're getting all this heavy rain. See, it keeps getting pummeled up here. It looks like there is maybe a dry slot area that we might get into later. But the rain continues. As you can see here, it is all over our area. And we need it, but the problem here is that instead of getting, we've been in a drought for so long time, and instead of getting the rain gradually, we get all the rain that makes up for the drought. We get a month's worth of rain in a matter of a week, which is not normal, but that's all due to the changing climate, which I don't really want to get into too much in this video because I've talked about it ad nauseum. Alright, and the next thing I want to show you is a satellite image. So hold on, get to that. Actually, I want to show you a wider of the radar. So let's do this. Let's do a loop. So it's just a wider radar here. You can see just all the moisture that's involved here, all the tropical moisture that's involved in this. Okay, so here's the satellite, and you can see this is Philippe over here. So Philippe is over here. I just wanted to show you the satellite because the moisture from Philippe has gotten caught up in this coastal low. You can see it's getting that classic comma shape there. Classic comma shape in here. If you follow my mouse, this is the trough right here. So again, we have this very kinked up jet stream. So it's pulling up all this moisture from the Caribbean and the tropic areas, which is again not something we should be seeing, but it's continuing do this because of the kinked up jet stream that we have that is bringing up all this moisture. So I'm going to show you this jet stream again right now. I have to stop this, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the satellite image. I just kind of drew on it to explain to you what's going on here. So we have this deep trough here, like this, literally, or it's just a deep trough that's just pulling up all this moisture from the tropics. So this here is what's left of Philippe, and it's getting sucked. All the moisture is getting sucked into this low right here. So that's why it's so humid. That's why we have all this really heavy rain, and we may even get some thunderstorms out of it. And the wind too, as well, is part of that too, as well. It's kind of ironic because this is kind of the same pattern that brought us Superstorm Sandy 5 years ago. So this is a pattern that's occurring more and more often due to climate change. So I'm going to go to Earth Null School now. We're going to look at the jet stream. Okay, so this is a look at Earth Null School, and right now I just have it displaying the winds. You can see here's that feed coming right out of the tropics, right into our area here, right into our area. So I want to show you the jet stream. This is a great site. It's called earthnullschool.com, and you can do all these maps and stuff. So let's go ahead and look at the jet stream now. Alright, so here you go. There's your jet stream, and you can see, just close this. You can see that the jet stream is really kinked up over here. So again, it's literally, and you got this subtropical jet, so it's just feeding in. This is better than my drawing, obviously, so you can more clearly see what the jet stream is doing. And you can see you just got this kink right here, and it's all just kinked up, and you get this. Now you almost have a secondary jet stream over here, or subtropical jet over here. So it's really just pulling up all this moisture and all this humidity and all this rain into our area. And so it's literally just why it feels so tropical out there. This is what's going on basically. But whenever this happens, and this is happening more often, the whole East Coast pretty much, from Maine to Florida, is getting a similar kind of air. So there's no change in the air mass. Which again is unusual, and I think it's due to climate change. We're seeing the patterns of the atmosphere change as a result of the warming at the poles, which I explained to you before. I'm not going to get into now because I've gotten into it so many times ad nauseum. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to look at the temperature here. Let's do some of this. All right, you can see the warmth coming up the East Coast here on this. You can see the warmth coming up the East Coast here from the tropics. And by and large, the country is well above normal. You have to go up in the northern Canada to really experience some fall-like weather because, I mean, the tropical air you can see is just spread all the way into almost all the way up the East Coast here. And this is temperature, so let's see if we can do a dew point. If it's going to have dew point, or it's got RH, but I don't know if it has humidity. Whereas dew point, it doesn't have dew point. And it doesn't have that data. Alright. Let's look at the ocean instead. Alright, let's go ahead and look at SSTs. Alright, so you can see all that warm water. All that warm water over here coming up the this is what's fueling a lot of this, because a lot of the extra heat is getting absorbed into the oceans. The oceans are warmer than they should be, and that'll be the next part of what I'm going to look at here, because we're going to look at the anomaly. Alright, this is the anomaly. So this is this shows you how above normal the ocean is, and you can see, look at it, it's on fire off the East Coast here, way above normal. The whole Atlantic is. There's some below normal areas, more in the southern hemisphere. If you look toward the bottom here, I'm not going to move. Well, I can move this here. There's some more below normal here. Northern hemisphere by far, because there's more development in the northern hemisphere, has more of the effects of climate change. But I mean, it's all across the globe, but we get hit a little harder with it. And so you can see, by and large, most of the water is above normal here. All right, so that's what's giving the energy to these storms that we're getting. All right. I'm going to go back to the air, and I want to see, I think we could look at some of the models. Yeah, we can go into the future. So let's go ahead and look at the jet stream. Let's see if this pattern changes at all. Yeah, we're in. Alright, so I'm going to move it along here. Alright, this is the computer model moving the jet stream along here. This is based off the GFS. Alright, so you can see that kink is still there pretty much. I don't think it goes any further than, let me see, oh, maybe it goes a little further. There we go. Alright, so we're going in the next day now here. This is Halloween now. 8 local, so October 31st. Let's see if this jet stream pattern improves at all. No, it's still, you can see how diffuse the jet streams are. I'll take you out to October 3rd. I meant November 3rd. You can see how diffuse the jet streams are. And just, it doesn't look like, this is going to show when I go to the GFS next to show you exactly what the long range looks like. And if you're looking for autumn and cold weather, folks, especially around here, it doesn't look like it's coming anytime soon. Now, the very first thing I want to show you is just some text output from the GFS model. This is from the 1200Z run, and you can see that we're pretty much above normal for this period here. We go down a little bit. By the way, we're pretty much sealed. It'll be the warmest October on record. All right, pretty much that's sealed already. Warmest October ever for our area. All right, but you can see we continue the warmth into November because even though we cool down a little bit on Wednesday and Tuesday, it's only around average. So it's only around the climatological, which is this number right here. This is what's supposed to be. We're supposed to have a high of 57 and a low of 41. All right, but you can see we're consistently above normal most days. Thursday, Friday, we're above normal. It cools down a little bit on the weekend, but not too much. And this is the sky, so this shows you what the sky is. And also, we're going to have a lot of clouds around. Maybe we'll have some clear weather on Halloween and maybe tomorrow afternoon. But we're going to also be stuck in a lot of clouds as well because, again, we're stuck in these. We're not getting into the cool, dry air from Canada enough. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at the GFS model from Tropical. Okay, so we're looking at the GFS model from Tropical Tidbits, and you can see here is our storm. Look at it; it's really intense, and you can see how it just picked up the moisture from Philippe and literally pulled it up the east coast. So this storm moves away. You can see how tight the isobars are, so that's why we're going to have a lot of wind, especially later today, tonight, into tomorrow. And there could be some power outages scattered around. And then the storm pulls out. We should have some nice weather later Monday into Tuesday. And then that high pretty much starts quickly moving off the coast on Wednesday, so expect increasing clouds on Wednesday. And the next system to approach here from the, and you can see there we're really not getting into any cool air. There's another chance of rain. It looks like the pattern does become a little more zonal, so we won't have that huge kink there. But at the same time, we're not really going to get into really any cold air. It just pretty much stays to the north, and maybe toward the end of the period. Let's take a look at the temperature anomalies. That'll tell us where the cold air is. Alright, so let's see what we got. Alright, we're going to start off today. So you can see, here you go. Here is your warm air. Look at all that warm air over us. You can see way above normal, but it's below normal on this side. See, in the bowl, that trough's where the cool air is going. It may actually wind up being colder in parts of Florida than New York right now. That's how fucked up it is. Anyway, that's crazy. But you can see where the below normal weather really doesn't get right over to our area. We're a little below normal, but it pretty much stays in the upper Midwest. And that's, again, because the jet stream is not allowing it to make its way all the way toward us. And then back into the warmth again, back into above normal, right through the extended period here. It stays above normal, and maybe not until mid-November do we start seeing some more cold weather again. So this is the warmest fall I've ever experienced here, and it seems like every autumn is getting warmer and warmer, and it seems like we are losing our intermittency, our seasons like fall, and it'll just switch to winter eventually. I'm gonna probably try to make another video of this about the leaves The fall foliage this year is pretty bad. So the last thing I want to show you is just a lightning detector, lightning detection, to show you that we do have thunderstorms around. Well, actually, surprisingly, there isn't much lightning out there. So I guess that'll be it for this update. So if you're in this area, Long Island, it's just going to be a wet, windy night, maybe some scattered power outages, and you might need to put the air conditioner on because it's humid. Again, this is all part of the changes we're experiencing in our climate. Pretty much the difference in latitude is not making the difference that it used to make anymore. And even if you go all the way up north to New York, you may experience similar weather as South Carolina now because of that jet stream kinking up and bringing up the tropical air. But hopefully, eventually, it will cool off because I'm not a fan of the warm weather. I like it cold, and on a warming planet, it's not good for me because it means less cold and more warmth, and that's what we're seeing if you look at the big picture. So I don't want to get too much into that though. Just keep it strictly a weather update. But anyway, hopefully it will cool off, and hopefully we'll see some more fall color. But I think that the fall foliage season, because of this weather, is pretty much going to be a dull one. We'll have to wait for next year. Hopefully next year will be better. Take care.